Okay, this is episode 2 of my real estate podcast. So, what I want you guys to know is after I had this huge problem with disrespect and, not really being prepared for the scary part of town, but finding a way out of it because, the disrespect from the real estate agent really pushed me to be like, no, I'm not doing it. But I was doing it until, he caused that. So again, whenever I have a setback or someone tries to do something against me, I just think how it makes me prosper, how it makes me reflect and learn from it. So that's something that you have to keep in mind about real estate. You're learning as you go. You're making mistakes. But, you keep moving forward is really important. So I want to say next to think in terms of, how that affected me. So I think I went 2 or 3 years after that without trying to get any properties. I really was, sometimes we try to say that we're not affected by something or we're stronger than that because I went off on them, whatever. But actually it does affect us. So when we see our next steps not actually going forward, and then it really did affect us. So we have to come to grips with, no, that did affect you. Even though you acted in an angry way, you lashed out, you quote unquote stood up for yourself, it still has an effect on you, and you need to be aware of that. So I had a friend at the time, and he was like, why haven't you applied for other properties, or what's going on? Because you were buying a house and now you're not buying a house anymore. You haven't been working on it or anything. And it really made me reflect and think about like what is going on. And I did realize, okay, I was really affected by that more than, my angry lashing out at the guy. And so I did go back into the process of trying to find a property. I don't even remember the details now, but I know that in the fall of 2004, my friend, homie lover friend, and I bought a property. We had dated a little bit and then we stopped dating, and I don't know, for whatever reason, we bought a property together. And, to be revealed later. Anyway, we bought a property, not a house. It was a multi-unit because I had after looking at different condos and different things like that, I was like, I don't really like any of the condos. They're still really expensive. And I decided to go ahead and buy a multiple unit property, live in one, have somebody else rent out the other one. They now call that house hacking. It's not a new concept, but of course, for whatever reason, they like to rebrand things that have been done for a long time in our current day and age. So anyway, it was going on a long time. So I had this idea, or I don't know, I read about it. I don't know where I got the idea from, but that's what I did. I ended up finding a 4-unit property, and my homie lover friend at that time had, we decided to buy it together. And, we actually did that. We went through that process, and he had a real estate agent friend, and, took us through the process. It was a 4-unit building. So we thought anyway. More on that later as well. And actually, it ended up, it was about $430,000, I think. And we had a couple of different ideas about how to buy it. I think we ended up getting maybe an interest-only loan, but I also had a first-time home buyer thing that I could have done, Cal HAFA, and I'll put these in the show notes, of course, so you could see. yeah, so we had a couple of different options, and yeah, I discovered there was some identity theft on there. Like I said, many times, and I just was able to, refute it and get it off of my credit and move forward with this buying the property. At that time, I don't think we had to put any money down for any of the different offers that we had. I don't remember putting any money down. If we did, it was very minimal, maybe $1,300, $1,400. But I really feel like there was no money down at this time. So, we were able to qualify for some teacher programs finally. We were like district interns. When I'm saying we, me and my homie lover friend, we met in the district intern program. So that's where we met. And when we became credentialed, then we were qualified for some programs as teachers, credentialed teachers. And that's what really made the difference. But while we weren't certified, we couldn't apply for those teacher programs. So I think that's why we had 0 down or very, very minimal. So it was a rough side of town again. That 4-unit property. Later on, like right before we closed, I think it was disclosed that was actually a 3-unit property. And there was just a door that separated the top units, literally a door. And someone had like a chifforobe or, chest of drawers blocking that doorknob that separated the hallway. And it was also plastered shut. So that was the separation between the 2 units at the top, which were, again, legally only a 3-unit property. It was a seller's market at that point. We didn't get anything, any contingencies. We didn't insist on it. We went ahead and purchased that property. Now, when I purchased the property, I didn't have any information. Just to let you know, we're under rent control, and all 4 of those units were rented out. So I couldn't just move somebody out of that property. And so I didn't know that. So to this day, I bought the property in 2004. I've never lived in the property, which is fine. Again, another blessing in disguise, because I hadn't grown up in the area. It was a pretty rough area. And we'll go into all the things about living on that property, not living on that property, owning the property, not living in it, and, how we made it through when it was only legally 3 units. All right. Have a good day. Stay tuned for next.